Welcome, Sojourners. You have found yourself a cozy place here at Sojourners Awake. I'm Jonathan, and this is our production of The Bookish and the Brave. Nothing good comes from the world while darkness reigns, and in this most recent adventure, we really find that the Sojourners are in the land of Boshin once again. But Boshin is not the same. It's certainly not the same for Vaughn, who grew up as a noble. It's not the same for Hawkins, who made his way as a Fletcher in various trade. And it's certainly not the same for Sterling, who visited only a year ago for the first time in his life. What new things will they discover, and how will the conflict between the Sons of War, the Bay Knights, erupt here in this city? And so for now, our story continues. Now that the Sojourners had arrived within the city of Boshin, they could see that commerce and life had begun to continue, though only a year ago the flames of revolution burned bright. As they crossed the River Sharon, the effects of illusion still played a big part in the dealings with the ferrymaster, who lied and betrayed. These prices were subjective to the whims of powerful people, who remained in disguise for reasons of espionage or simple safety. And within the district of Torntown, the Sojourners walked on looking for the symbol of A, to discover the location of the crafting of these imposter books. They had stumbled across a prayer time in which a vulture delivered a somber call for war. And at that moment, right outside, an old tavern called the End of the Road seemed to summon Sterling to approach. Once inside, they saw that this old tavern was now repurposed as a recruitment office for Bane, the god of war. Sterling, for some reason, could not withstand these effects, and despite the bracelet of Sylvia clamping down upon his wrist, giving him aid from his elf teacher. But to no great occurrence did this progress, because only after leaving quickly, the Sojourners were met by Eon, an elf lord who operated in secret as a member of the Steady Gaze. Offering to help him find the Amberdoom game, as it were, he asked only for help in return. But then at that moment, the heavy footfalls of the Hand of Bane arrived with the intent to arrest a certain nobleman. And so for now, our story continues.
So Vaughn, knowing that our hostage is secured, and also knowing that another one of those guards ran out the door, and having reached his limit, looks at the others and says, keep him secure. I will be back. And takes a quick walk toward the direction that the other guy escaped. But more than trying to chase him down, he'll take a look for him and see if he can see him. But assuming that he does not see him, he's just going to stop and he's going to take 3 deep breaths. And then he's going to close his eyes and think about the monastery in the forest. And he's going to speak quietly. Chathi, my sage, I don't know if you can hear me, but I miss our talks. And I need your help. Hawkins and Sterling, they look to me to lead. And I just want to be Vaughn. I'm struggling to follow the ways of the Order of the Defenders. Everything has changed over this past year in Balltop. Riverton Village seemed different. Everything has the red hand of Bane on it. We had to take the ferry, and Hawkins began the negotiations, but I had to jump in, and I had to act noble. Again, I just want to be Vaughn. Honest Amos so he said, tried to have us killed as he conspired with the lizard folk. Sterling was attacked underwater. He alerted us to the danger. We fought well and they were defeated. I should have killed Amos, but I didn't. Because of my words, I believe he figured out who I am. And he told the Bainites about me. That was another mistake I've made. We were lost in Torntown. We can't find the books. We can't find the A. I was summoned by an elf who ended up being Ion Keen, a nobleman I had met before. He was with us when we were attacked by the Bainite guards. We killed some and we have one for questioning, but one got away. Yet another mistake. I don't want to kill, but it looks like that's the only way for me to be the defender you have trained me to be. I would welcome your guidance once again. I think it's time to talk to our hostage.
Vaughn, as you are sitting there praying, the depressing low fog still permeates all of Torntown. You open up your eyes, and if by some chance of luck, roll a perception check. You are going for a 19 or higher.
I rolled a 19, and I have a perception of 3.
At that moment, the guard doubles back and, stripped of his weapons, just running down the area, you know that he came from the left side where you can see him. And as if hurrying back, orienting himself, he turns back towards the right side of you, heading towards the recruitment office. His eyes lock with you as you are sitting there in stillness and silence with your back up against the brick wall of this building. Beyond the tavern in the cellar, you can hear the negotiations beginning with Hawkins and Sterling. But as this young man's eyes lock with you, the red hand of Bane slapped upon his chest, sweat upon his brow. How do you proceed?
Is he still running, or is he stopped looking at me?
He has not stopped to look at you, but he, caught in that split-second moment of recognizing you out the door, he makes an attempt to break harder in a run.
I'm going to run him down.
You may make an athletics check, but I think I know who's going to win. Going for a 12 or higher.
That would be a 18.
You apprehend the young man. You are running side by side with him. Once he sees he cannot keep up with you, he stops and says, You are under arrest. His voice trembles with fear. You stop, and he reaches in his hand for a writ, and he pulls out a piece of paper with your face upon it.
I rip the paper out of his hand, and I grab him by the arm, and I calmly walk him back to where everybody else is.
Well, he resists. He tries to resist, but unable to wrest himself from your grip. And with only the cellar a few steps away, Eon comes out and looks at you, his elven eyes now back to his normal shade of blue. So yeah. Eon actually walks up to the cellar next to you, sees you have the young man, and looks at you and says, "Let's take him downstairs."
That's what I'd like to do.
Eon scans the alleyway, scans the streetway before walking back in, and now Hawkins and Sterling, how do you appear as Vaughn brings back the soldier of Bane?
Hawkins has put Lion M right in his face. So we've got the guy tied up, sitting down with his back against a crate, and the mechanical lion is like nose to nose with him, just not doing anything, just looking at him, not even particularly threatening, just standing there.
Bainite glances over at you. What can it do?
Well, it can do just about anything I ask it to.
He relents in his pursuit. The other two guards are lying unconscious upon the ground. What is to be of them?
As long as they don't stir, we'll leave them. If they start to stir, we'll probably try to bind them, I think.
And there is also a piece of armor and a soldier who is separated in 4 different directions. The smell of magnesium sulfur still lingering in the air. Sterling, how do you appear?
So Sterling is still in the corner. He's come down from his blood rage, and the archer has disappeared from his chest. He's still at a loss for himself. There's sort of a ringing in his ears as he is still kind of coming over that effect of being charmed. And he thinks that the reason he got so mad was because of that Baneite influence on him as well. He did not feel like himself. And then he quickly remembers his last fight in Boshan too, when it didn't end well. He wasn't trying to kill anybody, he was trying to knock them out and defend the shopkeeper against the arcanist, but it did end badly, but he was able to save that situation. And he hasn't taken a life before. And remembering this man that had kind of sizzled and crackled from his archer kind of hitting him, he quickly runs over to that man to check on him and is shaking him, like trying to heal him. He is kind of showing his age and his kind of like naivety a little bit about like what happens when you use these arcane techniques in close quarters. So he's kind of, that is all hitting him at once.
This soldier that you hit with the guiding bolt, that's the one you're trying to heal?
It was more of the archer effect of the guiding bolt, which is the additional damage that happens from it. But yeah, it did hit him and kill him when he was trying to, and then he tried to control the bolt and he failed that throw.
You can make a medicine check then.
Sweet. It's a natural 1.
Well, Sterling, you are trying to help this man out, but given your current state, you are unable to guess whether he is alive or dead, or how far he is or close he is to the stars.
Okay.
He
would be trying to kill wounds. He would be trying to pump healing into him.
Is that how far Sterling goes?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He would. Yeah. He is beside himself.
Okay. I think Hawkins would interrupt before it got to that point when you're going over his body and it, getting more and more frantic. Sterling,
No, he can't be dead. He can't be dead. No, this isn't happening. It's not right.
Listen, buddy, I know you didn't mean to hurt him too bad, or I suppose you didn't, but you did the right thing. They were trying to hurt us.
I don't think taking a life is ever the right thing, but is there anything we can do? I mean, what about your port? Can your port help him?
I think I already used it for the day. You look over at Hawkins and see that he's bleeding quite a bit too. By the way,
being confronted with the friend in front of him not doing too well, he would move his administration from him to ministry to Hawkins, and he would then not waste his spell on the dead guy and heal Hawkins for 12 HP.
Awesome.
Okay, and that would calm him down, feeling like he's something he can actually do, and doing some good kind of neutralizes him and balances him out in a way.
Was that the first time you've taken a life?
Yeah, I mean, a human, creatures and things that would attack me and would be scary, monsters, yeah, no problem. But this was just a man doing his job. He was just doing what he was told. It doesn't seem right.
I understand that. I appreciate that, and I really hate to say, I think times might be coming where we might need to not be able to hesitate. We might be able to take action without worrying about it in the moment. because I think it's going to be our necks or theirs at some point here. It could be, and I hope it doesn't get to that point. But I think the things that you're feeling right now are really appropriate. I think that's good, and I think it's easy for some of us who've been around a little bit longer to kind of think a little bit, to detach ourselves from that a little bit. So you keep being you. We'll be here to support you.
You see his countenance change. Yeah, and he sets his jaw a little bit.
Your friend is not wrong. Eon speaks up. Those of us who have been here in Boshan for some time know that it is better to kill the Banites on sight than to allow them to gather reinforcements. Numbers are on their side. He bars the door.
Sterling would just retreat to the corner to kind of go over it a little bit by himself. He doesn't want any part of the negotiation.
Vaughn, you walk in with this young man. Now 2 Banites at your mercy.
Who do you think it is that you're capturing?
One of them smirks. Brown hair. Any noble is a good capture. If honest Amos was right, you are a steeple bottom, are you not?
My name is Vaughn.
Yes. My name is Gingrich. That is my name. It was before I became a son of war. You also now are a fighter. You have a new name, yes, I understand that. But this is not true. He's looking at you, eyebrows raised. You are a steeple bottom. I can see the noble blood. You stink of it.
And why are you after me?
He hits the other guy in the side, and the younger man with the blonde hair points and says, "He took it. He has the writ."
I'll hand it to Hawkins.
Hawkins, you see that Vaughn's face, wanted, suspected for noble crimes against the city of Boshan. Henrik von Steeplebottom. By order of the Lord of War.
Does this seem to be something that was made like today, or is this from a year ago?
You may do an investigation check.
17?
Yeah, it was very fresh.
Okay.
Very fresh. It is most likely a recent discovery.
Hawkins doesn't comment on it. He just looks it over and sort of looks up at Vaughn when he's finished analyzing it.
All right. Vaughn sees the look in Hawkins' face, sees his picture on the paper, and he turns back to the guards and he says, "Well, it seems that I should have killed Amos, and it looks like the only way to make this go away is to kill you."
Brown-haired soldier stiffens his jaw and says, "That would be an honor. He approves of all blood spilled in fight. At least make it an honorable death and allow me a weapon so I may die fighting."
Why do you believe you deserve honor? I have done nothing wrong, and yet you are convicting me of crimes.
You nobles are all the same. You're the reason that Boshan fell. You're the reason the people were restless. You destroyed the land. The Lord of War gave us it back. And with the promise of fight and bloodshed and a good rabble, this land will be built once again.
Vaughn's going to look at Eon and see what his reaction is to all of this.
Yeah, Eon just says it is very true. That is the way of the Sons of War. It is their motto. It is why they are recruiting. They take young men like these. They adopt them. Young men without any hope. Young men with hope, but nevertheless, it is not their option. They will be taken today, they will be taken tomorrow. It is a custom.
Do we have an option, Eon? Do we do anything but kill these men?
They are the authorities. your face would be plastered. You either change your face, or you make them forget yours.
Vaughn, please, no more killing today.
I hear you, Sterling. I don't want to kill. I've never wanted to kill. That's why I didn't kill that guy over there or that guy over there. And I point to the two guys that are unconscious. I don't want to kill, but we will not be able to complete our task with these and their friends coming after us continuously through town.
The blonde young man, the one whom you apprehended in the city streets, begins to cry. He calls out for his mother.
It doesn't look like your blonde friend has the same ambition that you do.
He's always been a coward. The Lord of War will not approve of this. You will die in your tears when you should be dying in your blood. You are dead to me. I will kill him myself if you give me a weapon.
Vaughn's gonna gag that guy and tie him up.
He screams curses at you. Bane! And actually, he's going to try and cast Bane upon you out of spite. Please make a wisdom save, DC 13.
20.
You feel the racking images of war and bloodshed and screaming, and you see just a fierce anger in this young man's eyes, like a cornered dog. He attempts to snap at you and bite. Nevertheless, with resistance, you still gag him and tie him in the corner.
I feel that he was casting that powerful magic on me.
Yes, it almost seems like a prayer he was praying against you. Not necessarily arcanic magic, but more like a prayer, curse, much like that vulture was calling out earlier.
I think Vaughn's done. Vaughn's gonna take his head off.
You have to make an attack roll. Advantage roll, easy enough.
24.
It's a clean death. How do you do it?
As I hear him making that prayer and spitting curses at me, Vaughn just loses his mind. He's so far over it that he just whips his sword around and takes his head clean off and almost puts his sword back down before anybody even notices what happens. And then the guy's head topples off of his shoulders. And Vaughn looks at the blonde kid and says, I do not want to do this to you.
Each of you make a perception check.
14 for Hawkins.
23 for Sterling.
16 for Vaughn.
Sterling, yeah, having been in the corner during this time, you did not see Vaughn's strike, for your eyes were fixed upon something as this young man grips the stone floor beneath him. In absolute agony and tears, they drop to the earth, and the stone begins to soften. And as he grips the stone, it molds within his hands, and you watch as his hands, his fingers, extend like roots into the earth out of sheer panic.
Wait, stop. What's going on there? His fingers, look at them.
Hawkins, you may now see this as well. Vaughn with your sword wiped clean. Eon steadies himself, aware that some magic may be taking place. What is it?
Look at his fingers.
He now recognizes that. He pulls him back, and dusts off, and just scatterings of dirt and rock from his hands move around. And he backs away. He says, just a clean death to honor the Lord of War, but do not make me an undead. Just don't make me undead.
Is that what was happening to you?
No. Was it? You're not necromancers, are you?
No.
You're not Merkelites?
No.
Eon speaks up. He's talking of the other sect. The undead, the Merkelites, the ones in Greenfield.
Vaughn looks at Hawkins and Sterling like, tell me what else I should do besides cut their heads off.
We might have mercy on you if you're willing to give us some aid. First of all, can you tell us if there's anything that's affecting your mind? if you're aware of any influence, any spell that you're under, anything like that.
Though I am a terrible one, I am a son of war, and I've received incredible amounts of instruction. I don't know if it's a spell, as you would call it, but it's a lot like what he was doing over there. Some would say I'm cursed, some would say I'm a cursor, but I don't know if it is magic.
Well, I'm not so much concerned with the name of it as whether or not we can separate you from it. Is there somewhere that you go every day, that you feel like you have to go every day? Do you pass by? I mean, we saw earlier there was a vulture outside. Do you encounter those pretty regularly?
Twice a day. It's the daily prayer.
Hawkins turns to the guys and says, we might not really be able to get any help from him if he's continuing to be under the influence of this, I don't know, vultures or something.
What help do you want?
Well, I mean, information about... we don't have any quarrel with the Bay Knights directly at all, but if you're gonna work against us or have something out for my friend here, well, then we might have to have some more, I guess, direct dealings with y'all. We didn't come to Boshin to deal with to do anything with the Bay Knights. We're just trying to be about our own business.
So you're not with the Steady Gaze? You're not smuggling nobles?
No, we're not smuggling nobles. That wasn't the charge that you brought against Vaughn? Well, I mean, you weren't real specific, I guess, but...
No, it's not my charge against him. I thought he was being smuggled. Now he looks at you, Vaughn. But I don't think that's the situation.
Yeah, I'd like to see someone try to smuggle this guy. If he didn't want to be smuggled, especially.
Well, if you're not with the Steady Gaze, then you...
Where is he in the room right now?
He's in the very center of the cellar.
Is he standing up or sitting down?
He's sitting down.
So Sterling will go stand over him with his 6-foot+ figure, kind of look down in his eyes, and he wants to see if he can see that same thing that he sees with the dark shadow and the light eyes that he had from that experience with Kondo-san. He's going to see if he can see that in this young man.
Beautiful. I love it. Remind me again?
So when he was having that experience with Kondo-san in the pool, he could see the vision of the man with the light eyes and being like, go to the end of the road, to see if he's still got that same trigger that Sterling has, and he'd like to roll insight if possible.
You may roll insight. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay, it's a 15.
He does not appear like you in that respect.
Okay, so he doesn't kind of look like he's being persuaded or like he has like any kind of outstanding debt on him. He's going along with the Bay Knights.
I'm going to...
Okay. So basically Sterling, like kind of doing that, he will look at him, grasp this young man by the face, and he's going to cast Lesser Restoration on the man to see if he is being kind of charmed or like being controlled in any way, see if he can restore this man to some, because he's obviously got something going on. He just doesn't know what it is.
Please describe what Lesser Restoration looks like.
So Sterling, standing over this man, just grabs this young man's face with both his hands, and he's looking in his eyes, and he just starts slowly whispering words of the sea, words of healing, words that he's known from his past and training. And he's just like letting this tendrils of water kind of come from his hands and wrap around this man's brain, cover his eyes, and just kind of try and reset him. And then as it washes away, he's saying, we need help. If you're influential in any way, and just get us out of here by giving them misdirection. If you've been led astray, now is the time to correct your course, to get on with your life, and get away from this place.
Sterling, what does your hair look like? Do you have hair?
So his head is, it's been a couple of days on the road. It's starting to sprout a little bit and it's a little wavy, but the big beard in his face is like turning into seaweed. It's kind of like shifting backwards and forwards like the tide, and is kind of hypnotizing the man a little bit.
And his eyes do lock onto your beard, and he begins to relax in your arms. You feel every muscle begin to relax in his body, and the dirt under his fingernails greets your nostrils, that earthy soil. The same odor of the nitrogen and the magnesium and the rich salts of the earth begin to fill up this room. Sterling, you are saying you are bald, correct? Hawkins and Vaughn, you see it, though Sterling does not. You know how it is said that the balding gene is a recessive gene passed down through the mother. This young man has a very distinct receding hairline. And as Sterling holds him, restores him, it's not the light that refills his eyes, but you almost see anger begin to leak out of his body and drip beneath the stone of this dark cellar.
It looks like you're helping him, Sterling.
Yeah, it does. I still don't quite understand everything that's going on there. But if I could do some good today, it would help me sleep tonight.
He looks up to you and says, "Thank you. If you aren't the steady gaze, if you're not a Bay Knight, well, they were wrong about you then." Who are you?
Oh, just, your regular guy coming in the ocean looking for books.
And Hawkins.
Hawkins was also kind of mesmerized by the flowing beard and the soothing words. So he sort of comes to after a moment. If they're, like Sterling said, if there's any influence that you might have, if you could tell anyone that Vaughn isn't really who they're looking for, maybe we can just stay out of each other's hair.
I don't have influence, but the elf is right. It'll be difficult for you to show your face. And I don't know how much these will remember. He points over to the guards. But your face, my fellow gnome, they would recognize as one who killed an officer. It's a high price to pay here in Boshin. I could lead you to a safe house for now. And then I could, well, I don't know what I would do, but I could rejoin the Sons of War and just keep my mouth shut. Eon kind of winces at this. Or I could, I'm sure I could just figure it out. But the Sons of War, the Bay Knights, they're relentless. They will have their war, and they need fresh bodies to do so. And I wasn't kidding, the Merkelites are going to war as well, but they will use, he gulps, the undead. War is coming.
Maybe as far as how you can help us now, and we can maybe think some more about how we can help you in return, but if you could maybe not lead us to a safe house. I don't know that a Bay Knight safe house would really be that useful to us at this point, but
it's a friend of mine. She trusts me. You could stay there for a while, but thank you. I understand it. If you don't trust me, you must trust something about me if you've not killed me so far yet. I quite honestly don't know what to do if I don't have a weapon in my hand, and I am not at threat of spilling my blood. I call it a repressive memory of hospitality.
Well,
you may do as you please. It's all right.
You're not actively trying to kill us helps in how we feel about you, I'll say that. But do you know anyone that maybe who the Bay Knights don't have influence over that we might be able to go to for disguises, even just to buy supplies for it?
Well, the Amber Dune gang, they are at active resistance. We are hunting them down right now. Eon kind of clears his throat a little bit. Yes. We had an agreement. I help you, you help me. This young man is pleasant to listen to, but he has hunted down the nobles, most likely. I could help. I'm not saying that I know the Amber Dune gang, and they would not want to see me, but if you can find them, they most likely have the best way to avoid us as Bay Knights. They've been excelling at this for a long time.
What would you do with this young man, Ian?
Like I said, I have never trusted the Bay Knights. They are out for one thing, and the influence of Bane is very strong. Stay away from the recruitment centers. I have known people, young men, who give up their lives before being taken into the custody of war. Young men have fled, abandoned their families. It is a terrible time, but if war is what Bane wants, then war is what Bane gets. I have my purpose, but no, I do not trust the Bay Knights.
Can you help us in our quest for what we are looking for?
Who do you direct that to?
Ian. And Vaughn looks at Hawkins and Sterling. Like, what do you guys think?
I'm afraid we're going to run out of time. If the Bay Knights are on our trail, we either need to run them cold or get on with this real fast.
I agree. We should be getting going. We've made a bit of noise. But young man, were you born here?
Yes, I was born and raised.
Is your mother and family still around?
He checks himself, as if he doesn't know what to say.
Oh, I just saw you do something with the earth that similar I can do with the water, and it's okay. As I said, we don't have time.
Eon, which way do we go?
He says, it is very simple. Bane wants a war. His partners, Baal and Merkel, gods of murder and undeath, they have agreed to start something. I think their endgame is to destroy all of Tetherna, lay it to ruins. I do not know why. I do not know what a sort of agreement they have, but they want the cities of Boshan, Greenfield, and Highkeep to fight. So in Highkeep, murder has increased. In Greenfield, threats of undead and zombies are plaguing the area. Here, as you can see, the Red Hand of Bane is fully in act. And if I have known anything from history, Bane will be the one to win the war against Merkel and Baal, that is for sure. But strangely enough, it'll be to their pleasure at the cost of many lives and much sacrifice. Now, I am trying to get nobles out of the city. And we believe we have encountered a repository of prisoners that they are keeping. The only problem is, it is the cult of Merkel that is keeping them. I do not know how they got in here to Boshan. I do not know if the Bay Knights know this. Well, judging from this young man's testimony, they are afraid of Merkel. It is because to die in undeath is not really smiled upon by Bane. It is better to go out bleeding than to become a rotting corpse that serves a mindless master. I need those prisoners. I need to escort them. But everyone I have sent in from the Steady Gaze has not come back. Rumors say that they have hired a demonic entity to guard Steeplebottom Crypts. Crypts of Hellsalt. You may be familiar with them.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Well, that is Merkel's safe house here in Boshan. I need you to go in. At best, find the prisoners, bring them out. And if you can, put an end to whatever demon monstrosity or whatever it is that is killing all of my people. It is risky, a fool's errand, but I think you have some skill where here at the Steady Gaze we do not have the time or expediency to train.
I am willing, if you can then help us.
I will lead you straight to the Amber Dune gang and you'll be able to find what you're looking for.
What do you two think?
How will we find you, or you come in with us?
I'm not going in. My information is too valuable to sacrifice what I can. It is my obligation to not put myself into harm's way. Let me warn you, I have sent very capable people in there. It will be a worthy challenge. And I only wish that I had some reconnaissance to give to you. But if you've had some experience with demons, if that is what is guarding the prisoners.
Well, if you don't have information, do you have some supplies for us? Some potions or something of that sort?
I can help you out with that.
If we're getting on the road now, I mean, as you can see, we just got out of a fight.
Yeah, no, I carry these with me at all times. He gives you 3 healing salves. It's quite simple. Just apply this to your chest. Medication will do its work. What I can do is offer to go to the entrance with you. I'll lead you there. Make sure you get safe inside.
And will you take care of these Bay Knights?
But of course, I will.
Then we will be on our way.
He whispers to you, what of the younger one?
Vaughn will whisper back, you should treat him as the others.
Very well.
We should go.
I was thinking, why doesn't he treat us like prisoners and walk us through the street and get us to where we need to go?
I do not think that people would believe an elf was taking away prisoners. It is hard enough for me to stay in the shadows.
The young man.
Sterling, we can't do that. What if he gets controlled again and shouts out, I have these guys, and then more of his friends come?
He is right.
Sterling and Hawkins, I will help Ian tie these men up so that they'll be here when he comes back, and then the 4 of us can leave. And he encourages you guys to head upstairs.
Do you go upstairs to the alleyway or through the tavern door?
Alleyway, I think.
Once inside, he looks to you and says, tie them up?
No. Vaughn's gonna stick his sword through a couple of them.
The 2 on the ground. The young man looks at you and pleads. Especially after the restoration, he does not appear as stalwart and as as bulldogged as the others.
Vaughn's gonna look at him and look at Ian, and he's gonna say, an honorable death, my friend. He's gonna take off his head. And then he's gonna hurry upstairs quickly to try to keep Hawkins and Sterling from coming back down.
Ian leads with you, and through the dense fog, Ian leads you through the city. This way. Follow me. Everyone make a stealth check.
Modded 20.
Same. Modded 20.
Natural 20 for a 28.
Okay, like shadows moving through the city, and at the right time of the day, and with one less guard post patrolling the area, for it'll be a while before they can be discovered. And at that moment, a tavern owner begins to unlock his tavern for the evening, walk down to the cellar to get the special wine to what horrors he has encountered. But exactly what Bane has wanted. Blood, and finally, a fight. It is nighttime, and Ian creeps towards the crypts. Vaughn, you're very aware of these, for these are the Steeple Bottom Manor crypts. Statue of your ancestor has been toppled to the ground with its head knocked off. Graffiti and scrawlings have been etched into the sides of the crypts. Ian motions toward you to be quiet and points towards 2 guard dogs and a drunk man sitting at the doorway. I've watched them. They take them in through there. They do not return. You do the math. A cult of Merkel? Inside a crypt. I know what they're up to. How do you proceed? Every story comes to an ending, so for now we must conclude. Thank you for listening, Sojourners. Your attention will not go unrewarded, and we look forward to continuing this adventure. If you enjoyed this background music and ambiance, then you should visit Tabletop Audio. You can find them at www.tabletopaudio.com. And take the time to sojourn with us. For articles on playing your very own Dungeons & Dragons games, visit Sojourners Awake at www.sojournersawake.com. And if you are interested in improving your craft as a game master, then you can find me on Gumroad at www.gumroad.com. There you can find 6 lessons on designing your very own adventure. And as always, Sojourner, may your story continue.